The universe is a vast, sprawling bureaucracy, its 32,000 star systems bound together not just by gravity or trade routes, but by unrelenting tide of paperwork. The Interstellar Taxonomy Bureau, ITB, an organization whose acronym evokes the sound of a particularly disgruntled gas-based life form, is tasked with cataloging every sentient species in the galaxy. Their archives, housed in a crystal and megastructure orbiting a neutron star, contain files on everything from telepathic crystal colonies to methane-breathing leviathans. Each species is meticulously ranked by threat level, evolutionary traits, and, most importantly, their likelihood of causing a diplomatic faux pas at the annual galactic concord. Humans, a species from a volatile planet called Terra, occupy a curious niche in this cosmic ledger. Labeled as Death Worlders, class for with a perplexing footnote, see Addendum Z17 for behavioral anomalies and survival outliers. Addendum Z17, of course, was lost during the ITB's last reorganization, an event suspiciously timed with the Bureau's infamous nebula mixer. The footnote's absence has left the human classification vague, a bureaucratic oversight that has sparked heated debates among the galaxy's top xenobiologists. Enter Klyssara, a renowned xenobiologist from the Corthian Institute of Evolutionary Studies, with 6 optic stalks capable of perceiving ultraviolet to infrared. Klyssara is the Institute's foremost expert on high-risk ecosystems. Her latest assignment, to observe Terra firsthand and verify the human classification. The mission is billed as a career-defining opportunity, but Klyssara, ever the skeptic, suspects it's a punishment for questioning the Institute's budget allocations. Volunteered without volunteering, she mutters, a sentiment as universal as gravity itself. Klyssara's research vessel, the Silent Observer, descends through Terra's atmosphere, its hull groaning under the planet's oppressive 1-gram gravity. The ship's AI, a chipper entity named VOX, announces, environmental adaptation complete. You may now disembark. Researcher Vren, caution, Terra's atmosphere contains 21% free oxygen, a highly reactive compound. Recommend maintaining exosuit integrity. Klyssara's exosuit, a marvel of Corthian engineering, compensates for Terra's hostile conditions. The planet's air, rich with unbound oxygen, is a chemical nightmare for most civilized species, who prefer their atmospheres safely inert. The landing site, a rugged region called the Sawtooth Wilderness, is remote yet teeming with life. Towering conifers cast jagged shadows, and the air hums with the calls of unseen creatures. Klyssara's preliminary scans reveal a landscape that defies logic. Terra's inhabitants not only survive, but thrive in this chaos, often venturing into such areas for what they call recreation. Klyssara's optic stalks twitch in disbelief. This planet is a death trap. Gravity that could crush a juvenile Corthian, temperatures that fluctuate wildly, and predators that make a Kryllian war beast look like a pet. Her data tablet buzzes with alerts. Warning: high concentration of apex predators detected. Recommend immediate withdrawal. Klyssara ignores the prompt, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. On the 4th day of her observation mission, Klyssara's sensors detect a human approaching. She activates her cloaking field, a shimmering veil designed to render her invisible, or so she thought. The technology, built by the Institute's lowest bidder, has a fatal flaw. It distorts light unevenly, bending the ferns behind her in unnatural ways. Hey, your invisibility trick's not fooling anyone. A voice calls out, laced with amusement. The ferns are waving like they're in a windstorm. Cool gadget, though. Klyssara deactivates the cloak with a resigned flick of her manipulator claw, a gesture that translates across species as of course this would happen. The human stands 15 meters away, a sturdy figure clad in primitive gear, a pack bulging with tools, a woven cap, and boots caked with mud. Her translator identifies the human as female, approximately 30 Terran years old, with a biosignature suggesting peak physical condition. Greetings, Terran, Klyssara begins, her translator, converting her harmonic pulses into human speech. I am Klyssara, conducting non-invasive research to verify your species classification. My presence is no threat. The human adjusts her pack, a grin spreading across her face. Klyssara's database flags the expression as ambiguous. It could signal friendliness or the prelude to violence. So, you're an alien scientist studying us like we're zoo animals. That's bold. I'm Mara, by the way, wilderness guide. I was planning a solo hike, but showing a space nerd around sounds way more fun. Klyssara hesitates. Physical contact with unclassified species is strictly forbidden, filed under ways to lose funding and limbs, but Mara extends a hand, and protocol crumbles under the weight of curiosity. Klyssara extends a claw, and Mara gives it a firm shake. No actual shaking involved. I've got a 4-day route planned, Mara says, unpacking a map scratched onto a piece of synthetic hide. We'll hit some rough terrain, but your suit looks tough. Ready to see what makes Terra tick. Klyssara's data recorders hum, capturing every detail. Mara's casual demeanor, her lack of fear, and her baffling enthusiasm for guiding an alien through a death world. Your absence of alarm is unusual, Klyssara notes. Most species react with panic to extraterrestrial contact. Mara laughs, a sound her translator tags as non-threatening. You're not my first alien. I've spotted at least 3 others in these mountains over the years. Always sneaking around, taking notes. If you were here to invade, you'd have done it by now instead of tripping over roots with your fancy tech. Klyssara's optic stalks quiver, a Korathian equivalent of a double take. 3 others. Our records indicate no official contact. Yeah, I bet there's a form for that. Mara interrupts, grinning. Most folks who see your kind either keep quiet or get called crazy. Me, I just figure you're curious, like us. Now, let's move. We've got a ridge to climb before dark. The pair sets off, Mara leading with a stride that belies the treacherous terrain. Klyssara's exosuit flags 23 hazards in the first hour. Unstable rocks, venomous flora, and pheromone. Traces of predators her database can't fully identify. Mara, unfazed, points out landmarks with the ease of someone strolling through a controlled habitat. See that claw mark on the pine, she says, gesturing to a tree scarred with deep gouges. That's from a black bear, big one. Maybe 300 kilos. They don't usually bother humans, but you don't want to surprise one. Klyssara's translator struggles with the concept. Your species finds aesthetic value in predators capable of dismemberment. Pretty much, Mara replies, shrugging. Danger's part of the package. You respect it, prepare for it, and carry a good knife. She pats a sheath blade at her hip. A tool Klyssara scans dismiss as ornamental until she notes its molecularly sharpened edge. As dusk falls, they set up camp in a clearing Mara calls a safe spot. Though, Klyssara's sensors disagree, detecting 12 distinct ways the area could kill an unprepared visitor. Mara builds a fire with practiced efficiency, the flames casting flickering shadows on the surrounding trees. You don't sleep, do you? Mara asks, sipping a steaming liquid her scans identify as caffeinated poison. My exosuit sustains, Emmy, Klyssara replies, omitting the fact that she spent the night recalibrating her threat assessment algorithms. Your species' need for unconsciousness is inefficient. Mara chuckles. Wait till you see where we're going tomorrow. You'll wish you could sleep to forget it. Dawn breaks with a violence that rattles Klyssara's optic stalks, blinding light, shrieking birds, and a temperature swing that would destabilize most Korathian tech. Mara emerges from her shelter, a flimsy fabric structure called a tent, looking inexplicably energized, ready for the real wilderness. She asks, slinging her pack over her shoulder. Their path leads into a dense forest, where the air thickens with the scent of predators. Klyssara's sensors scream warnings, multiple large biosignatures detected. Retreat advised. Mara, however, pauses to examine a patch of disturbed soil. Fresh tracks, she says, voice low. Something big passed through, probably a grizzly. We're on a game trail. Animals use it to reach the river below. Klyssara's exosuit adjusts its defensive settings autonomously. Perhaps an alternate route. Mara interrupts, her tone shifting to one of focused calm. This is where the good data is. You want to know what humans are made of. Stick with me. The trail narrows into a rocky chute, walls rising steeply on both sides. Klyssara's tactical subroutines flag it as a death trap. Limited escape vectors, high ambush potential. Mara moves with deliberate precision, scanning the surroundings with an intensity that contradicts her earlier nonchalance. You're recording this, right? She asks without looking back. This is the stuff your bosses won't believe. The chute opens into a clearing beside a roaring river. Mara freezes, raising a hand. Quiet, she whispers. We're not alone. Klyssara's sensors lock onto a massive heat signature in the underbrush. 450 kilos, ursine morphology, armed with claws and teeth capable of shredding her exosuit. The creature emerges a grizzly bear, its fur matted with mud, its eyes fixed on them with predatory intent. Male, probably pushed out of its territory by a bigger one. Mara murmurs. Stay still. If I say run, head back to that boulder pile 60 meters up the trail. Climb fast. Your species cannot outrun this predator. Klyssara protests, her voice modulator betraying panic. Don't need to outrun it, Mara says, easing her pack off. Just need to make it think I'm not worth the fight. The bear rears up, towering 3.5 meters, its roar shaking Klyssara's audio receptors. Mara, impossibly, speaks to it. Easy, big fella, we're just passing through. No need to get territorial. The bear drops to all fours, advancing with deliberate menace. Mara pulls a canister from her belt. Plan B, she mutters. What is Plan B? Klyssara asks, already retreating. Depends, Mara replies, eyes locked on the bear. Probably loud noises and a lot of effort. The bear charges, a blur of muscle and fury. Mara activates the canister, spraying a cloud of chemical irritant. The bear roars, momentarily disoriented, but its momentum carries it forward. Mara sidesteps, not quite fast enough. A glancing blow sends her sprawling across the rocks. Klyssara scrambles up the boulder pile, her climbing claws gripping the stone as her sensors record what should be Mara's final moments, but Mara is already on her feet, blood dripping from a gash on her arm. She draws her knife, a 20-centimeter blade that looks laughably inadequate. All right, you want to fight? She shouts, voice a mix of defiance and adrenaline. Let's do this. The bear charges again. Mara ducks, driving her knife into its shoulder. The blade sinks deep, drawing a spray of blood. The bear roars, rearing up, but Mara moves like liquid, diving under its claws and leaping onto its back. One arm locks around its neck, the other stabs repeatedly at the base of its skull. The bear thrashes, throwing Mara off, but she rolls to her feet, drawing a collapsible baton with her free hand. Last chance to walk away. She yells. The bear, blooded and enraged, charges one final time. Mara drops to a knee, using its momentum to drive her knife upward into its throat. The blade vanishes into flesh, and Mara holds on, striking with the baton until the bear collapses, its massive form still. Mara staggers back, panting, blood streaming from multiple wounds. Damn it, she mutters, voice heavy with regret. I didn't want to kill you. Klyssara descends from the boulders, her data recorders overloaded with what she just witnessed. Your species classification is inadequate, she says, her translator struggling to convey her shock. Mostly harmless does not account for this. Mara wipes her knife on a cloth, wincing as she examines her injuries. That was just a bad day at the office. Wait till you see what we can do with real weapons and a plan. Klyssara's report begins to take shape. Terrans, Class 1 Death Worlders. Apex Predator status confirmed. cultural affinity for lethal capability, tempered by selective restraint. Immediate reclassification required. Weeks later, the ITB convenes an emergency session in their orbiting megastructure. Representatives from 19 starfaring civilizations pack the hall, their forms ranging from gelatinous blobs to crystalline spires. Klyssara's footage plays on a holographic display. The bear fight replayed so often that several delegates request sensory recalibration breaks. This is unprecedented, intones high taxonomist Zorth, a silicate entity whose prisms flicker with distress. One unarmed Terran defeated a predator 4 times its mass with primitive tools. Worse, adds Ambassador Vix of the Cryan hegemony, a species known for its battle fleets until 37 minutes ago. When they saw the footage, there are 9 billion of them. The chair, a telepathic cloud named Silvara, pulses with urgency. The human expressed regret after killing the predator. This suggests a paradoxical relationship with violence, capable of extreme brutality, yet restrained by choice. Klyssara interfaces with the central node. The most alarming aspect is their casualness. My subject, Mara, implied such encounters a routine. She mentioned previous alien observations, suggesting Terrans have known of our presence for decades and chosen not to act. A collective gasp ripples through the hall. They knew. Vix's mandibles clatter, and they let US watch. Precisely, Klyssara says. This implies confidence. Only a species certain of its dominance allows potential threats to observe unchallenged. The ITB reclassifies humans as Death Worlders. Class 1. Paradoxical threat. New protocols are issued. Contact teams must include combat specialists and behavioral analysts, and the term primitive is banned from diplomatic correspondence after reports of human irritation. Mara leads a group of human hikers through the Sawtooth Wilderness, pointing out the clearing where she fought the bear. Bear spray's your first move, she says. Fighting's a last resort. Any questions before we cover edible plants? One hiker raises a hand. Did you really take down a grizzly with a knife? Mara grins, glancing skyward at a faint, shimmer-cloaked observation ship. Yeah, but that's nothing. Keep your eyes on the horizon. You never know what's watching. As the group moves on, the ITB's monitoring division scrambles, their sensors picking up a new signal. Humans across Terra are waving at their cloaked ships, their smiles a mix of amusement and unspoken challenge.